Hi everyone, I'm Lisa. Welcome to Simply Explained English, the podcast where we break down English words and phrases to help you understand and use them easily.
And I am Eric. In each episode, we'll explain 5 words or phrases, give you examples, and help you practice your English skills.
Whether you're a beginner or looking to improve your English, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Okay, what are the words today, Eric?
The first word today is entire. Then we will continue with to insist and above all. Then to mess up. And the final one is it's not my cup of tea.
Let's start with the first word, Eric.
The first word is entire.
Entire.
Entire. Entire is an adjective that means whole, complete, or full. When you say entire, you're talking about all of something without leaving out any part.
That's right, Eric. Let me give an example sentence. I spent the entire day cleaning my house. This means that I cleaned my house from morning to night. Here's another one. She ate the entire cake by herself. This means that she ate the whole cake, not just a piece of it.
It's important to note that entire is usually used before a noun, like entire day or entire cake.
Now let's have a sample dialogue using the word entire.
Before that, we'll watch some movie scenes.
Sam's working at something for the first time in his entire life.
Theoretically, yes, but we've never shut down the entire system before.
How was your vacation, Mary?
It was fantastic. We spent the entire week exploring the city.
Wow, the entire week? What did you do?
We visited all the famous landmarks, tried local cuisine, and even took a day trip to the nearby mountains. It was an entire week of adventure.
In this dialogue, Mary used entire twice to emphasize that they spent the whole week exploring and having adventures.
It's a great way to show that they made the most of their vacation time.
Definitely. Speaking of vacations, have you ever taken an entire month off to travel?
I haven't, but it's definitely on my bucket list. I think it would be amazing to have an entire month to explore a new country or go on a long road trip.
Yeah, I agree. I've always wanted to spend an entire month traveling around Europe and visiting as many countries as possible.
That sounds incredible. I'm sure you would have so many amazing experiences and memories from an entire month of travel.
But I think I would need to save up for quite a while to afford an entire month of travel expenses.
True, it would definitely require some planning and budgeting, but I think it would be worth it for the opportunity to have an entire month of adventure and discovery.
Couldn't agree more. Maybe we should start planning our own entire month of travel someday.
Count me in. But for now, let's wrap up our discussion of the word entire.
So, entire means whole, complete, or full, and it's used to emphasize that you're talking about all of something without leaving out any part.
Like an entire vacation or an entire day spent doing something.
Yes, Lisa.
Okay, let's move on to our next word.
The next word is to insist.
To insist.
To insist. To insist means to keep saying something when others disagree with or oppose what you say because you believe it is important. For example, my mom insists that I finish my homework before playing video games. It means that my mom keeps saying, after I finish my homework, I can play video games. She thinks this is very important.
Now I'll give the second example sentence. He insisted on coming with us to the store.
It means that he really wanted to come with us to the store, and he kept saying it until we said okay.
We use insist in 2 ways. Sometimes we use on, then something, or doing something after it. Like he insisted on doing nothing wrong.
The second way is, if you insist that someone does something, we use that. For example, John insists that he is right.
Yes, that's a good point, Eric. Now let's have a sample dialogue using the word insist.
Before the dialogue, let's watch the movie scenes.
That's very kind, but I insist I'll pay.
He insisted on waiting in case I changed my mind.
Hey, do you want to go to the park?
Sure, but my sister insists that I clean my room first.
Oh, no. Does she always insist on things like that?
Yes, she does. She insists on everything being perfect.
Well, let's clean your room quickly then.
It was a nice dialogue, Eric. Now, let's talk a bit about the word insist. Why do you think people insist on things?
I think people insist because they believe something is very important, or they want something very much. For example, parents might insist that their children do their homework because they want them to learn.
Yes, that's true. In our dialogue, my sister insisted that I clean my room because she wants the house to be tidy.
Well, some people feel happy when everything is clean and in order.
Agreed. Eric, do you often insist on things?
Sometimes, yes, for example, I insist on doing my work on time. What about you, Lisa?
I usually insist on healthy eating. I think it's very important.
That's a good habit.
Yes, it is. Okay, is there anything else we need to say about to insist, Eric?
Just a reminder that insist is often used with on or that. For example, insist on doing something or insist that something is true.
And remember, it's a strong way to say you really want something to happen or believe something is true.
Exactly. Well, that's all for to insist. The next word is above all.
Above all.
Above all.
Above all means more than anything else or most importantly. We use it when we want to say that one thing is more important than other things.
Above all is often used to highlight the most important point or thing. Now, let's use above all in some sentences.
I'll start with the first example sentence. Above all, you must be kind to others.
It means that being kind to others is the most important thing, more important than anything else.
Now the second example. She loves many things, but above all, she loves painting.
It means that painting is the thing she loves the most, more than other things she loves.
When we use above all, it helps to show what is the most important.
It's a good point, Lisa. Now, let's have a sample dialogue using the phrase above all. Sarah and Tom are talking about their favorite hobbies at a park. After the movie scenes where above all is used.
I am a writer, a doctor, a nuclear physicist, a theoretical philosopher. But above all, I am a man.
I wanted to convey sheer size. And size means stability, luxury, and above all, strength.
I enjoy reading and cooking, but above all, I love painting.
That's interesting. I think painting is good, but above all, I enjoy playing soccer.
It sounds like we both have things we love the most.
That was a nice dialogue, Eric. Now let's talk a bit about the phrase above all. What would you say about the usage of the word above all?
I think it's important because it helps us express what is most important to us. For example, in the dialogue, they talked about what they preferred the most.
Yes, and using above all makes our sentences clearer and stronger. Do you use this phrase often?
Yes, I do, especially when I want to make a point about what matters the most to me.
Can you think of another situation where we might use this phrase?
Sure. For example, if I am talking about what I enjoy doing, I might say, I enjoy going on holiday, but above all, going somewhere with friends is the best.
That's a good example. It's a simple way to let people know what you value the most.
Absolutely. And it's useful in many different situations.
Well, that's all for above all. We hope our viewers understood how to use above all.
I think so, Lisa. Okay, the next word is to mess up.
To mess up.
To mess up.
Mess up is a phrasal verb. It means to make a mistake or to do something badly. It is often used when something goes wrong because of a mistake. For example, when you spill coffee on your favorite shirt or forget your friend's birthday. You've messed up.
Exactly, it's versatile. We can use it in various situations. For instance, if you're cooking and accidentally burn the pancakes, you'd say, "Oops, I messed up the pancakes."
And it's not just about physical actions. You can also mess up plans, relationships, or even your own schedule. Imagine you're late for a meeting. You'd say, "I really messed up my morning routine today."
Now, let's give our listeners a couple of example sentences to explain it further. I totally messed up my presentation at work. In this sentence, someone made a mistake during their work presentation. It means that during the presentation, something went wrong. Maybe the slides didn't work properly, or the speaker lost fluency. The important thing is that they made a mistake, and this mistake affected their performance.
Good explanation. This is mine. She messed up her chances of getting the job by arriving late to the interview. In this case, messing up refers to the person being late. Being late has damaged his chances of being hired. She didn't make a good impression.
Absolutely, Lisa. And remember, mess up can be used with or without an object. When we say, I messed up, it means I made a mistake in general. When we add an object, like, I messed up the test, it tells us the test was affected by the mistake.
Great point, Eric. Now, let's make a sample dialogue using our word after movie scenes. How about we set the scene at a coffee shop? Mark and Amber are sitting across from each other sipping their lattes.
Sounds good.
I convinced her that it would be fun to mess up Regina George's life.
I don't think that quitting swimming will mess up my life. I really don't.
Mark, I must say, I messed up yesterday.
Oh, really? What happened?
Well, I was supposed to meet my friend for lunch, but I completely forgot. She waited for me for more than an hour. I messed up her day. I felt terrible.
It sometimes happens to everybody, but you should apologize soon and plan another lunch date. And don't forget next time.
It was a good example of the usage of mess up.
Agreed. And speaking of making things right, how about you, Eric? Any recent mess-ups?
Oh, I spilled coffee on my laptop this morning. It's a mess, but luckily, it's still working.
Eric, you really know how to mess up a good laptop. This was the second time you spilled your coffee.
Hey, at least it wasn't my phone this time.
Okay. Anyway, you should be careful otherwise. New laptops are very expensive nowadays.
Yes, I know, Lisa. Thank you for your reminder.
And there you have it, folks. A simple dialogue using to mess up. Remember, mistakes happen, but it's how we learn from them. Let's move on to the next word.
This word is our last word today. And it's an idiom. The last word is, it's not my cup of tea.
It's not my cup of tea.
It's not my cup of tea.
Yes, it is an idiom. If something is not your cup of tea, it is not the type of thing you like or are interested in. Example: thanks for inviting me, but concerts are not really my cup of tea.
Yes, that's right. We use this idiom to say that something is not to our taste or preference. Let me use it in some sentences. Watching horror movies is not my cup of tea. This means that I do not like watching horror movies. They do not interest me.
Or, playing soccer is fun, but it's not my cup of tea.
It means that I think playing soccer is fun for others, but I do not enjoy playing it myself.
When we use this idiom, we often talk about activities or things we do not like.
Yes, that's a good point, Lisa. Now, let's watch the movie scenes and have a sample dialogue using the idiom, it's not a cup of my tea. And this time, we will play the dialogue, right?
Sounds good.
Flying is not my cup of tea.
Does that mean you can't wait to get out there, or that it's not your cup of tea?
Hey, do you want to go to the rock concert tonight?
Rock music is not a cup of my tea. How about going to the movies instead?
Sure, we can do that too. But why don't you like rock music?
I just prefer quieter music. Rock is too loud for me.
I understand. Everyone has different tastes.
How did I play the dialogue, Eric?
You did it very well, Lisa.
Oh, thank you, Eric.
You are welcome, Lisa. Okay, let's get back to the idiom. Why do you think this idiom is useful, Lisa?
I think it's useful because it's a polite way to say you don't like something. Instead of saying, I don't like it, you can say, it's not my cup of tea. And it sounds nicer, doesn't it? In our dialogue, I said that rock music is not my cup of tea.
Exactly. And using this idiom helps us gently express our dislikes.
Yes, it does. Do you think there are other idioms like this that learners should know?
There are many idioms in English, but it's not my cup of tea is a good one to start with, because it's easy to understand and use.
I agree. And it's also fun to say.
Yes, it's fun. Well, that's all for today's words. Thanks for listening to Simply Explained English.
We hope you enjoyed learning with us today.
Remember to practice and study the new words you learned.
We'll be back soon with more simple explanations. See you next time.
Bye for now.